Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and warm welcome to SME Channel's conversation with leaders to understand the market sentiment and channel activities amid this pandemic. This is a very tough time, and we need to stay together and support each other whatever possible way we can. So today our guest is Lata Singh, who is I'll say the boss of IBM marketing for channel business. And I'll definitely say thank you to Lata for taking time out and speaking to us, to the channel community, and sending out some key information or messages to the industry. Lata, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back again. A tougher situation this year in the market, but definitely glad to see you doing well and getting through this pandemic.
To understand the market sentiment where we are trading every day, what is your sense of the market?
So if you really look at the sense of the market, and I would say for all organizations and all businesses, right? The business sentiment is really focused on the employee health, safety, and well-being, right? And this is across organizations. It's not just a statement of IBM. I would say it's a statement of every organization that's there. Our unilateral focus is on ensuring that our employees and their families are safe. And therefore, we've put together a very comprehensive support plan, which includes vaccination drives, 24/7 medical helpline, additional insurance covers, obviously oxygen concentrators, and supervised quarantine facilities, including emergency transport. As IBM is a key part of Global Task Force on Pandemic Responses, which was launched by US Chamber of Commerce to aid India and other COVID-19 hotspots, we have mobilized US-India strategic forums to bring critical aid to India. But the key focus, like I said, remains mobilizing the collective power of IBM talent and IBMers' resiliency to really drive impact in saving lives. I did want to share with you that we have started the vaccination drive this week, starting from Kolkata, going to Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Delhi. And the whole focus is to ensure that as they rolled out in phased manners, we have our employees and their families really vaccinated based on the government guidelines. We also have volunteers, and this is really the key, I would put it in, is the IBM employees who came forward, humanity at its core, to take service requests, match them with resources. And you're from Delhi as well, Sanjay, so you know that the challenge we had on oxygen cylinders to medicines to ICU beds, and the volunteers across multiple cities actually signed up for this initiative and ensured that they were able to take the request and support each of the requests that came through the IBM support system, as well as multiple connects that each of the volunteers had in the larger ecosystem. One of the other key initiatives that IBM did launch is that we partnered with Samarth, and this is a leading organization which supports the elderly by creating a COVID care system, right? Samarth will help elders deal with pandemic by providing 24/7 emergency assistance, home care, doctor telecommunications, food service. You're aware that a lot of the senior citizens are alone while their kids are having jobs not only in other cities in India but outside India, and we felt this is a critical initiative that we had to undertake. One is for the elderly. The second is the employees who were in different locations and were really concerned about their parents. So this is a very important partnering that we did with Samarth. In addition, we also have partnered with United Way of India, where employees can donate financially to the NGO, and in turn are working with several partners on the ground level to provide critical and emergency care for the community. And this is very, very, very important. In addition, IBMers are also volunteering to become first responders on COVID-19 helplines through collaborations with other NGOs like Project Step One and Jeevan Raksha Trust. So it's a lot of collective impact that's going on. And in addition, by the way, and this is important being an IT company, right, is that we are leveraging the power of technology to drive impact. we've launched our own IBM COVID Assist, a Watson Assistant powered bot to channelize the requests around critical resources such as ambulance, oxygen. So the tickets are raised in that, and the tickets are again then pushed to WhatsApp, Telegram, and other applications that our volunteers use so to be able to register and support the IBMers who are raising tickets. While the
Yes.
priority is on IBMers, we are obviously taking requests from extended family members that need help of the IBMers.
Absolutely, Lata. You are doing your company and you are doing a fantastic job, towards the employees and other people. Let us come to the business side. Which are the sectors that you are thinking are going to drive or driving your business or contributing majorly to IBM's revenue?
So let me just briefly talk about the sectors, and then I will talk about the technology that is driving those sectors, right, as we adopt, and if there's any other question that you want. Um, Look, the one common thing across the pandemic as organizations focus, right, is technology continues to be the unifying force, right? We look at agility, we look at business continuity, we look at productivity of remote workforce, which last year obviously was rolled out, but then you're looking at productivity as a critical point of it. We're looking at bringing in supply chain efficiencies and leveraging automation, AI for intelligent workflows. Now, all of this along with zero trust security frameworks. If I really look at which sectors are seeing drive or momentum for us, it is definitely number one is the financial services. Post the amalgamation that's happened in the banking industry, we are looking at increasing focus. The banks are increasingly focused on improving, customer experience across online and offline channels. They are looking at the larger IT ecosystem, embracing open hybrid multi-cloud environments, and especially with rapid innovation, right? Speed to market, with strict security requirements, because the financial segment is obviously a very regulated industry as well. So we're looking at a lot of platform initiatives that the banks are driving. Globally, you are aware of it. IBM has collaborated with Bank of America for the availability of the IBM Cloud Policy Framework for financial services, right? BNP Paribas has leveraged high-end applications across IBM Cloud. In India, we are working very closely with SBI for the creation of their secure mobile platform. Is very familiar with everyone, right?
Right.
Where 18 million customers in India are using it, and the way we are doing banking is so different now, right? We are not only banking, but we are also shopping. We are ordering food, and we're doing so much more through the application. And in addition, we've created a digital marketplace for infrastructure equipment with iQPO. It has become India's first digital platform to digitize the co-lending programs of banks and NBFs. So I would say definitely the banking industry, right? Manufacturing is also taking a fast track on the automation journey. And if you recall last year when we talked about 5G and how it's going to enable the manufacturing industry. So we are seeing a movement to build end-to-end visibility, get real insights, and obviously to be able to predict issues related to supply chain. So if I had to give you examples, Amul is one of the biggest FMCG companies in India. It's leveraging in intelligent automation, AI, to build a resiliency in its supply chain. Shriram Cement is the other one, right? It's one of the top 3 cement producers in India. It's leveraging our power systems and Red Hat on it to run their database, core application, core business application. So that's the other one. And then Parle, who can forget Parle biscuits, right? Parle, yeah, I can see the smile on your face. Parle's world's largest selling biscuit brand is leveraging IBM's hybrid cloud AI capabilities to leverage automation across their production and manufacturing levels. Retail, obviously, this year, obviously, retail, if you really look at it, is on the slow, is slightly lesser. But if you looked at last year, you saw retail really changing the way customers were buying, the online shopping experience, the touch points, and we have examples of Emerald Jewelers, which launched a first of its kind AI enabled mobile application. Look at and Bestseller launched a Fabric.ai, the fashion industry's first AI project aimed to increase sell-through rate and reduce unsold inventory. Now, that was really important. And as we see the market open up again, this is where we are seeing the e-commerce really picking up. In the public sector, and that is known, right? The digitization of the government services has happened at a very fast pace. We have received a full cloud service provider empanelment with Mighty. That means that we can work across a segment of the government ministries and departments across the states, to get their applications on the cloud. In addition, we've also launched, and you're aware of it, is the Ministry of Education and Niti Aayog. We're working closely on the Samshiksha, and education is very important, so is skilling. And we are doing a STEM initiative with 10 states. 10 states. In 2021, we've reached 180,000 students across 1,200 schools across 11 states. And that is a big number of, that's a large number of students, and we're gunning for many, many more as we progress. In addition, when we spoke last, I did talk about the work that we're doing with Karnataka farmers across the tomato farming, and that's using the Watson Decision platform for agriculture. And as we progress, we're going to see more small pilots happening across the agriculture industry, is what I see.
All right, Lata, I think you spoke in length and breadth about the adoption of technologies by various organizations. But the crux, what I find out is increasingly people or organizations are adopting multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, AI, and Watson capabilities, right?
That's right.
So my question here is, from a tech perspective, which are the technologies creating, demand for you? Cloud, obviously, you said one, AI, but would you please take me a little further into what else?
While I talk about technologies, last month, as you recall, was I think 2021, and I wanted to share some of the announcements that we did, which are very strongly aligned to our hybrid cloud and AI strategy. Also, the fact that as we look at it, we are helping thousands of clients across every industry transform their business with the power of a hybrid cloud and AI platform. And we just spoke about the banking industry, the manufacturing industry. So if you look at the innovations that are designed there on the edge of the digital journey, which is so critical, right? The whole of last year, we talked about how are we accelerating the digital journey. Think 2021, we announced our latest hybrid cloud and AI innovations that will serve as a building blocks. Now, the first one that I do want to talk about is the fact that data and AI together will fabric that will automate complex data management tasks by using AI to discover, understand, access, and protect distributed data across multiple environments. Now, this is a very critical announcement. The second one is the Watson Orchestrate, which helps create a new interactive AI capability. Now, what happens is Watson Orchestrate is the latest AI-powered automation capability from IBM. And what it helps is people can reclaim a significant amount of their time to focus on more strategic tasks, right? It was developed by IBM Research, by the way. And it's able to actually connect to popular business applications like Salesforce, SAP, Workday, and work in a very collaborative manner with Slack and email and other natural language. Now, this is definitely going to help in productivity of the employees and professionals. The third one is the Maximo Mobile. And this one is, if you know that, if you really look at the fact that where we are looking at is clients processing more than 100,000 work orders per year, hybrid clouds, containerized, easy to deploy, scalable design is built to help organizations scale their order and asset data volumes. Now, what happens with the IBM Maximo Mobile is an easy to deploy mobile platform. And at the core of it is the IBM's leading mobile asset management solution. And a number of our clients are using that. AI cannot help humans with complex tasks like repairing remote assets, if technicians can't bring AI to the assets with them. So a key steps towards facilitating this is the adoption of advanced automation, and Industry 4.0 is not only applying this AI and machine learning to solve difficult problems, but it's also ensuring that you can run your AI anyway. So Maximum Mobile bridges the gap in a crucial way by helping technicians to easily access and use the most advanced tools and technologies every day. So it's really bringing the power of AI to the person right at the field who is working on it. Another important announcement that we did is the IBM research is releasing Project CodeNet. Now, this is a large-scale open source data set comprising of 14 million node code samples. Now, Project CodeNet specifically can drive algorithmic innovations and to extract this context with sequence to sequential models. So it's bringing the AI in the coding in the entire coding cycle. So this is again from our research lab, and then an interesting one because we have a lot of our customers and a lot of our application modernization happening around our web sphere. So I did want to talk about the mono to micro. IBM is introducing a new capability in WebSphere Hybrid Edition, and this helps enterprises to optimize and modernize their application and workloads to run hybrid cloud environments on Red Hat OpenShift. And this is a very important one because a number of our clients and our IT services companies are using WebSphere Hybrid Edition, and this is really bringing IBM's suite of AI-powered products and services that can make it faster to migrate to the cloud. And mono to micro is something that I do know that a number of our ecosystem partners would be really looking at adopting. Recently, by the way, in the last few a week or so, we also announced our engagement and tie-up with India's premier academic and research institutions, and that is with the IISER Pune. We've tied up with IIT Chennai. We've tied up with TIFR Mumbai, Jodhpur, Kharagpur, and I'm just worried I may not mention all of them. So University of Calcutta, but the idea is furthering quantum computing education and research, and this is looking at building not only skill sets across quantum, but also looking at the use cases that we can bring and how do we really further the entire journey towards quantum as we progress forward in the next 2 years. And finally, we announced Spectrum Fusion, and this is a fully containerized version of IBM storage and data protection software. So this is a big shout out to a number of our partners who are using IBM Spectrum. This is designed to provide a streamlined way to discover data across the enterprise. So this is a very, very important announcement that's just done very, very recently. So these are the solutions. Again, these are at the crux of what we already have and we have partners adopting. But these are the solutions that will help our ecosystem as our clients further their journey in the digital transformation.
All right, Lata, that's from IBM side. What about channel side, the business partner who are the key route for you to the market? What is their sentiment? How they are looking at 2021?
I would say 2021 and especially March onwards, most of our, and by the way, it was Q4 for most of our partners, has been a very as critical for them as it has been for us. One is the focus area for all of them has been their employees, and as I touched base with a number of our ecosystem partners, we touched on challenges that we've had in obviously ensuring that we're getting the right support to our partner, the employees. But more than that is how do you keep the business running at the same time taking care of the employees is very critical. So this is obviously has been a focus area for everyone in the last two months. But one of the key things that we did do, by the way, January, February, when the market had opened and we were all out, is a lot of skilling that happened on new technology areas. While I did talk about it, we talked about the cloud pack for data, we talked about the automation side of it, and the entire focus was on skilling and building capability. In addition, as I looked at, and we did a lot of roundtable with a number of our ecosystem partners, the key was to be able to collaborate, and this comes out really key is we cannot do it alone. You need a collaboration between industry and between the ecosystem and between the technology providers. And that's where it is everyone is looking at not only the skill set that they have, but how are they partnering or collaborating with others in the industry to deliver much more to the client. So I would say it is a journey as we look forward with our ecosystem partners of much more collaboration, not only with the OEMs, but also amongst themselves. And I think that's the key of where the mood of our sentiment of the channel partners is.
All right. What about their financial growth? What about ensuring they're not in trouble? At least from IBM side, any assurance that IBM is giving to them, which happened in the first lockdown one or 2020? Is it continuing still? How are you going about? Yeah.
So there are multiple ways, right? One of them, and when, because you talked about financial assurance, let me start with that, right? Because one of that is obviously the IBM Global or the IGF offerings that we have that helps our partners as well as our clients to really adopt the hybrid cloud and AI journey, because we're looking at IGF actually funding their investments, right? Is that so? It's a IGF is the financing agency that will help them, and we're looking at an investment which provides significant technical resources around it. The second part is we did talk about $1 million investments, which is in the form of cloud credits, and this is to be able to provide them cloud credits to move their applications onto the IBM cloud. In addition, we have our hybrid cloud team that has technical resources that align with our partners, because the impact to have a financially secure ecosystem, it's not just the financial assistance that you provide, it is also the technical capability as well as the support to help them build additional solutions, as well as to ensure that they're constantly skilling themselves to meet the market demands. And that's the focus that we've been doing. We've also simplified our coverage, right? So that we are looking at leading with partners, and we're aligning our IBM sellers to work with our partners, and we're looking at the entire model of not resell, but really building assets that our partners have and taking them to market. So deep technical support and simplified coverage, as well as ensuring that we have hybrid cloud build teams aligned very strongly with our partner ecosystem.
Okay, now there is a shift in work. There is a shift in workload also. Those channel that you are engaged with, they might be also shifting their strategies. So they might be requiring a lot of training, hand-holding because they are the first layer of people or first line of people who face the customers. For somebody in some organization who are into completely work from home or remote works, I know that at the back end you are supporting, your cloud team is supporting. What about those people? Skilling those people so that they can fulfill the requirement of the customers.
So two, three things. One is obviously, look, as everyone is working from remote, we've all identified new ways of enabling not just sales and pre-sales, but also deployment skill set. And last year one of the things that worked well was we realized that while we were looking at on-site training for deployment, we were able to actually do it off-site as well or remotely. So that is one important factor is not only sales, pre-sales, but also the entire deployment enablement that has happened with the partners. The second part is, and I did mention the cloud engagement fund, so I'll not repeat myself, but the entire competency framework, right? We're looking at now, looking at the competency that our partners build and demonstrate the expertise, because what the clients need are delivery that is of essence, right? So the key thing is, are our partners able to deliver solutions of IBM in a manner that the client wants for their projects, right? That is the key part of it. So we are actually looking at competency framework, and we are looking at how do our partners build the competency on various product portfolios from here till here, right, where they become experts on it. And this is across our hybrid cloud infrastructure, automation, security. And with a number of them, I can mention TCS or Tata Consultancy has achieved competencies and expanded their engagement with different customers to modernize their applications across the entire hybrid cloud. We also have new benefits that are coming to them across co-creation client centers, proof of concepts. In fact, you would have seen an announcement on LinkedIn of Tech Data having a COE on IBM, and therefore, in a way, it is expanding to the ecosystem to leverage the COE of data and security to bring their clients onto that and showcase the use cases. Again, skills is important not just for our ecosystem, but for IBMers as well. And we have the seismic zone where partners as well as IBMers are building their capability using the seismic zones for sales, pre-sales, and even looking at deep dive solutioning that happens. So all of that skill set or all of that data is available on Seismic. Again, it's the same information that is available to IBMers is also open to our partners as well.
Okay, Lata, see, this time actually many of your competition are at a time looking at or tapping into the new channel ecosystem, but they have added a new strategy of tapping into the ISBs. So I believe IBM is also taking that same route. Why ISBs, and what are you looking at, and what is your goal?
Okay. So ISVs, I would again put it, ISV strategy has always been there. It's never been something that ISVs are new, right? The largest ISVs in India, is Finacle from Infosys or Edgeverb, and banks from TCS I would put them as the largest ISVs in the banking industry. But the focus, and as I mentioned earlier, the key is how is the IBM technology being adopted in the solution that our partners are building is very key, because ultimately you're looking at scaling, and the scaling can happen only when you're looking at a multiplier force of the ecosystem. If I look at selling one-on-one, that is a level of engagement. But the key, and the customers are looking at more and more solutions that deliver the outcomes that they're expecting. They're not looking at the technology that is being deployed, but they're looking at what is being delivered to me. Does it meet the need of the business, right? Then they look at, is that solution running on technology which has a roadmap and a technology that they know will not fail? And that is the key of why ISVs become important, because they're able to provide a solution built on technology that can deliver what they need to deliver to the client. So ISVs are very, very important. And as we look at our segmentation across the banking, retail, manufacturing, a number of solutions are being developed by IT service providers or ISVs or solution providers to deliver. Right now, it can be, are they delivering solutions on someone's data center so that it is one-to-many hosted model, or are they looking at working with another partner to say, okay, when you're doing an SI engagement, our solution is there for you to take it. And that is where that collaboration between the SI engagement as well as the ISVs, and sometimes an ISV can be an SI plus an ISV as well. And I think that becomes very key, is how are you embedding your technology so that you're able to scale it. And that is why ISVs are important, not just to IBM, but to the entire ecosystem, because they are embedding, they are taking and delivering what the clients need.
From 2019 to 2020 to 2021, how do you see the partner business growing for IBM? What kind of percentage you can give it to them?
Yeah, I more than percentage, I think that the shift that's happening, and you mentioned it, right? The shift that we're looking for and the shift that's happening is how are our ecosystem looking at not reselling, right? But building, but looking at building their own capabilities as well as the service models with IBM technology underneath it. And that's the shift that the partners have done, right? It is no more I am here as a resale partner, but more as I am here to deliver to a client a certain solution, which can be OPEX or CAPEX. And how can I partner with IBM in that model? And that is the shift that we're seeing, right? We have partners that have been traditionally reselling and have strong capabilities. They have built their own solutions, and therefore we're looking at how those and they are in a way ISV partners, right? How are they taking those solutions to the market, right? And these are solutions which could be as critical for banking industry as well as for any of the other industries. So we have what we've done is work with partners to look at embedding our technology in an ISV model, or looked at data center service providers adopting our technology to deliver services to, again, ISVs or end clients. And that's the key of it, is we're looking at building an ISV ecosystem. We're looking at service providers, and that's the shift that we're seeing. From a product portfolio, if you ask me, the automation, the data and AI, security, and the cloud is at the core of it. Obviously, the infrastructure and if I really had to look at our ecosystem of clients, we have a strong base of clients running on our power and power infrastructure as well. So I would really look at the fact that we are powering 10 out of 10 world's largest banks. We have 11 out of 13 public sector banks running their mission critical workloads on IBM Power Systems. But the key factor is the fact that clients right now are looking at solution approach and not a product approach. And therefore, we're working very strongly with our partners to ensure that they're building capability across IBM technology to deliver the solutions that the clients need.
Absolutely, Lata. I think we pretty covered everything, starting from the industries, market sentiment, channel sentiment, product solutions that IBM is focusing or the customers are looking for. Finally, if you have any special messaging to the channel partners, please go ahead. And
I do, and I think these are times where I would say is, first of all, keep safe, keep healthy. I think the most important is for each of you to take care of yourself and your loved ones. So that's my first message, because I do want us to ensure that we are there for each other. So reach out if you need any help at any point of time, for any support that you need. I know that all of us and all of you are going through tough times right now. In terms of skilling and building capabilities, we really have to look at what is the journey that we are going to build as we move forward. Therefore, invest in building your team's skill set and look at how you're building new service models to meet the new demands of the clients, because the focus is going to be on delivery capabilities and how you deliver successful projects. So I would say skilling is the most important, and that is where the investment should be going in. So keep safe, keep healthy, and I really look forward to meeting each of you when we are out and the lockdown is removed, but more importantly, when it's safe to really connect.
Absolutely, Lata. Thank you very much for taking so much of time and speaking to the entire channel community through SMA channels talks. So.
And thank you, Sanjay. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really happy that you've gone through what you did. But thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure talking.